Welcome to Let's Learn with EVAS. And today, we're going to learn an easy way to introduce yourself in English. This method will improve your ability to speak like a native English speaker. Are you ready? Well then, let's do it! As an English learner, one of the first things you must do is to learn how to introduce yourself. But the question is how to do it, what information should you give, and what is the right order? Let's take a look at this method together. Introducing yourself in English can be viewed as a circle made up of 3 parts. Number 1 is life. This is where you talk about who you are and where you're from. Second is hobby. This is where you talk about your hobby and the reason why you choose it. Last, number 3 is dream. This is where you share your vision about your future. Now we understand what each part basically is. But let's go into more detail so we can learn how to properly introduce ourselves. Again, part 1, life. In this part, we will have 3 WH questions. Who, where, and what. Now, we will write down a short piece of information for each of 3 WH questions. For who, we can say name. For where, we can say hometown or native country. For what, we can say characters and personality. So let's take a look at an example for part 1. For who, we have Peter. For where, we have Spain. For what, we have diligent and outgoing person. So let's see how this will be sound. Hello, my name is Peter and I'm from Spain. I am very diligent and outgoing person. Part 2, hobby. In this part, we will have 3 WH questions. What, why, and when. For what, we can say hobby. For why, we can say the main reason for choosing that hobby. For when, we can say the time we usually do that hobby. So let's take a look at an example for part 2. For what, we have playing the piano. For why, we have I love classical music. For when, we have every evening after work. So let's see how this will be sound. My hobby is playing the piano. I love classical music, so I usually play the piano every evening after work. And finally, part 3, dream. In this part, we will have 3 WH questions. What, when, and why. Now, we'll write down a short piece of information for each WH questions. For what, we can say what our dream is. For when, we can say when we want to reach that dream. For why, we can say why we chose that dream. So let's take a look at an example for part 3. For what, we have travel all around the world. For when, we have over the next 10 years. For why, we have I have always loved meeting new people and learning about new cultures. So let's see how this will be sound. My dream is to travel all around the world. I plan to do this over the next 10 years. I have always loved meeting new people and learning about new cultures. Now, we have looked at each part in details. So now let's see what the entire introduction sounds like with 3 parts all together. Hello, my name is Peter and I'm from Spain. I am very diligent and outgoing person. My hobby is playing the piano. I love classical music, so I usually play the piano every evening after work. My dream is to travel all around the world. I plan to do this over the next 10 years. I have always loved meeting new people and learning about new cultures. Well, this is a good English introduction. You can use it in every English learning situation. How about trying to introduce yourself in English at least once a day? You can surely see your improvement. See you next time and more English topics here at Let's Learn with EVAS.